Good morning, YouTube! Today, we're taking a look at Pokemon Legends ZA, which I finished a few days ago. Strap in, this'll be a long one. Before we get into the complicated stuff, let's shortly recap the ending of Legends ZA. If you haven't finished ZA yourself, spoiler alert, I'll put at the time to skip to on screen right now. I don't know that yet because I'm not editing right now. Let's start at Lysander Labs, underneath Lysander Cafe. You find out the truth about the ultimate weapon and Ange, which I'm skipping over for now because we'll go through that later. Then you leave, have a chat with Team MZ and AZ, go to bed, get woken up by a loud sound, then make your way to Centrico Plaza. When you get to Centrico Plaza, you see Prism Tower overflowing with Mega Power, which I also plan on discussing. You and Urbane or Tawny, but I'm just gonna say Urbane because that's who I had, have a battle to determine the strongest Mega Evolution user, who will take Floette to the top of the tower to deactivate it. You win, but Urbane still begs you to let him go to the top, albeit you could lose and the story would still go on. Then you have a moment where the game almost had you convinced you were going to miss out on the climactic battles, but then the tower explodes and Urbane is stuck inside. You go on a long journey to find Zygarde, it becomes its 100% form, starts beating up Hyper Rogue Ange Floette while you fight its flowers, occasionally retreating under Zygarde's shield or ordering it to use an attack. Finally, Zygarde Mega Evolves, uses a new signature move which it has like 5 of at this point, and beats Hyper Rogue Ange Floette. Alright, we have 2 things to look at for now. The first is the ultimate weapon and life energy. Down in Lysander Labs, you find files of info on AZ and the ultimate weapon. Let me read out the one that concerns us. Number 2, the fuel. The device that grants life, in fact grants the deceased life stolen from other Pokemon. This is because the basic function of the device is to distill energy into its purest form, then emit that distilled energy. This emission can take the form of convection, radiation, or conduction. Thus, life can be conducted back into a Pokemon that had lost its own, allowing it to be revived. What, then, would occur if we were to fuel a device with the energy of a legendary Pokemon? Let's start with convection, conduction, and radiation. Those are basically 3 different ways heat or thermal energy can move around. Convection is through a fluid, so liquid or gas. Conduction is through solid matter, and radiation is when thermal energy moves in waves through the atmosphere. Based on this, the energy that the ultimate weapon steals has similar properties to thermal energy. In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, we learned that this energy is a Pokemon's life force, and is known as infinity energy. So the ultimate weapon is really just a killing machine in many ways, since a Pokemon drained of life force just dies. Now let's talk about Ange and Mega Power. Ange is a counterpart for the ultimate weapon, and its purpose was to protect the Kalos region using Floette's infinity energy and eternal life, which come from the ultimate weapon, which brought it back to life. When the ultimate weapon was used, the Mega Power spilling forth awoke Ange, which was embedded in Prism Tower, and caused it to go rogue, turning into Hyper Rogue Ange Floette. Mega Power, which is what we're looking at now, is much harder to explain, since it's pretty overlooked in the games. All we know is that it's not energy, since its particles group up to make Mega Crystals, and presumably Mega Stones. It's also a particle that can unlock genes that allow Mega Evolution, then locks them after some time. This is a process called epigenetics, where elements in a creature's environment or body lock or unlock parts of their genes. So let's recap. Infinity energy is akin to thermal energy, but a Pokemon's life depends on it. Ange is a bioweapon with the properties of a Pokemon, and Mega Power is a particle that activates epigenetics. With that, remember not to overwork a Mega Evolved Pokemon, since a lot of them suffer a lot during Mega Evolution. Au revoir!